The Moxie Cinema is bringing you a new slate of movies each month, and with me now from the Moxie is Joe Dole. Joe, so excited to see you again. How are things?
Good, very good. Yeah, showing some great films, having a good time.
Yes, exactly. And we've got a couple exciting things to announce, some that you've kind of worked on yourself. But the first one, this movie is called Widow Clicquot, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an 18th century French drama. It's actually in English, so so that makes it a little easier for those of us who are not full Francophiles.
Sure.
And so the Widow Clicquot, she marries into the Clicquot vineyard family, and her husband unexpectedly dies. So it kind of starts as this great romance between them, and then she decides she wants to take over the vineyard, which 18th century France, not the typical activity, and so she faces a whole lot of trouble, basically.
Okay.
But is able to then build the brand into what it still is 200 years later, 250 years. That's
whatever the number is.
That still exists today. So it's all about her struggle and kind of overcoming everyone saying, don't do this.
What's something that you kind of love about this film that you think other people will maybe appreciate as well?
Well, is two sides. One is just the great romance at the beginning between her and her husband, but also, again, just going back to that struggle and of that time and a woman saying, no, I'm going to do this anyway. It's just a beautiful moment.
Yeah, well, and I mean, so like, real to maybe today's world, right?
Of course,
so I love that, kind of a lot of real world themes we can pull out. So the other really exciting thing is, you know, as we announced last time you were here, you're kind of new to the Moxie, and this is, you're launching this brand new series that you've kind of been working on. So the classic series that's launching this fall, tell me about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I have my cheat sheet.
Okay, I love it. Hey,
there's a lot of them there. So it's called our Big Screen Classic Series, and the idea is really just celebrating why do you go out to the movies. You know, full disclosure, I have essentially a movie theater in my house. A lot of people do. You know, I've got a big projector, and so why do you go out? And you go out to see something that just is bigger than your house can do. You know? And also you go out because you want to be with people. You want to. There are films that you just want to experience with a crowd. And so it kind of runs between those. So we've got Lawrence of Arabia. We actually I splurged a little and paid a little extra for the upgrade. Just making it look extra good. We've got Night at the Opera with Marx Brothers, League of Our Own. So I'm definitely going to the
you're
good. For Halloween, we're doing Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I love it.
Which I'm really looking forward to, and also Silence of the Lambs. We got The Sting, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Shawshank Redemption, Cinema Paradiso, and then trying for New Year's Eve to get all the Trekkies out for Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
I love that.
I'm probably going to be sneaking out from my family.
Hey, there you go. Right, as you should. You know what's really interesting about this is it makes me think of, you know, especially in like a post-pandemic world, right? Like, I think people are so drawn to their homes and their living rooms and streaming services. But something that stands out to me, what you're saying about this, is I feel like we are seeing films once again, new or, you know, ones that are resurfacing, where people do feel the need to go to the theater. And the greatest example of that last year was, I remember thinking, like, I told all my friends, I was like, I'll just wait for Oppenheimer to come out on streaming. And I'm not kidding you, Joe. Every single one of my friends was like, no, that is a film you have to see in theaters. And it's interesting that we are at this point where there is kind of that difference. Will you explain that a little bit more to our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of it is just, you know, there's a reason that TV shows, that comedies have laugh tracks, right? Because you want to feel like you're with people and you're experiencing this thing together. And they're faking that, obviously, through the laugh track. But you know, the same thing with a number of the films in this list, that it's meant to, I am here with people, and this is somehow better because of that. And I think the other big thing that I just realized, I was watching a film that we just closed called Touch. And I realized probably 20 minutes in, if I'd been watching this at home, I might not have finished it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful movie. But at home, you know, there's distractions, there's other things, and it's a slow kind of contemplative film that you really have to just let wash over you. That I likely wouldn't have happened if I'd watched it at home. But I had this amazing experience watching it in the theater.
I love that. Yeah, it is interesting how like movies have that power. It's also like, this is kind of same but different, right? It's like, I also think about the amount of films people people watch on like long flights that you probably would never feel like otherwise trapped in to watch, right? And so you kind of take that moment to enjoy some of those. So I don't know. We're going. I need to get off my soapbox here, but anyway, Joe.
I appreciate your soapbox,
yes,
by the way.
Yes. Anything else that you want people to know that's coming up soon over at the Moxie?
We've just got all the best films.
Yeah.
If you go to moxiecinema.com, you can see a whole list. I also just brought a friend that
I love this.
that I thought introduced. Flat Moxie is
Flat Moxie. That's incredible.
So he's been traveling around. I actually took him to Chicago at a convention with me, and he's been traveling around Springfield. He was at the fair last week, and so we've been taking him around town, getting him on social media, and he seems to be becoming much more popular with.
Okay, well, we are honored to have the Flat Moxie here in the Colorton studio and on Ozarks Live. Well, Joe, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for bringing Flat Moxie. Go check out a film you wouldn't normally see over at the Moxie Cinema and Ozarks Live. We'll be right back.